Another look at the Pope County and Livingston County storm where the newest tornado warning has been issued. And again, as far as I know, this is a radar indicated tornado near Grantsburg, right along Interstate 24 is where it looked like we were seeing. This is going to head towards Golconda here shortly, and Brownfield as well. And you can see there it is right there to the south of Grantsburg. We've got rotation right here, right along Interstate 24, and looks like Reevesville Road as well. And that is moving into Pope County, Brownfield. You'll definitely want to be in your safe spot. Parts of Pope County, Livingston County, get in your basement if you have it. And again, if you don't have a basement, get in that center interior room, put as many walls between you and the outside. East Prairie, I'm talking to you now. We're going to zoom into the storm that is moving into Mississippi County. We've got numerous storms out here, folks, so we're trying to cover them all. I know there's so many of them that going all around the heartland. We got to keep everybody it's in harm's way safe. And this was a pretty tight rotation earlier near Matthews, and we're going to kind of get an idea of what's going on near the Matthews area. The rotation is not as strong as it was, but again, it is still there. We've got a little couplet moving across Interstate 55 right now. We'll check to see if we see any debris. I do not see any debris. I still see a little bit of rain and hail mixed, but it's nowhere near as strong as it was. This storm appears to be on the decline, and hopefully that will continue as it moves into the East Prairie area. What do you have, Brian?
Well, Lisa was just telling me that we now have from the Illinois, it was the Illinois State Police, right? A confirmation of a tornado or tornado damage in Williamson County near Spillertown, right?
Yes.
A little while ago. So that indicates now we're starting to get a few reports that some of these rotations that we've been talking about may have indeed put down tornadoes, at least for a short period of time.
Yeah, and now and it did look like a very tight rotation. I was kind of surprised that we didn't have anything, but unfortunately, it looks like we have had some damage. Now, the rotation, we did have the sheriff telling us in southern Dunkling County near Hornersville that they did not have anything on the ground. This rotation is looking a little weaker right now as it moves towards Holland. We still have a pretty good hook, so this is definitely still rotating. Well, this storm is still spinning. It's just not spinning as much close to the ground. At least that's the way it looks right now. But there is still a tornado warning now. This is headed towards Holland and Cooter, south of Steele in New Madrid County here. And again, you could see that hook. It's very pronounced. The purple kind of just wrapping around the inflow notch right here. It's crossing Interstate 55. That's why we have that tornado warning out. And we'll take another look at not only the winds inside it, but we'll look to see if we see any debris inside it. And there's the rotation. Again, it's not as tight. It's not as intense as it was. And we're seeing the signs of hail, a lot of hail mixing in, but we're not seeing any signs of debris right now. So hopefully that trend continues. Again, the sheriff was telling us in Hornersville that there was not an issue on the ground. Lisa, you got some information?
They're just saying that there's in Saline County that there was a debris path from the county line to Hardcore Road and to Highway 34. So they're kind of telling people to stay away from that area because there is some debris covering.
So that was with this tornado right here. We talked about it. We were zoomed in. It was on Highway 34. Remember, we were saying we're not seeing any debris, but we said, hey, that doesn't mean it's not on the ground. And apparently it was on the ground. We have had some damage and a debris pass, so it was probably on the ground for a little while. This atmosphere is set up to where these storms could stay on the ground for quite some time. Right now it is moving towards New Haven, right along Highway 141 there, and that is in let's see, right near the Gallatin White County line as it continues to move off to the east at about 50 miles per hour. Again, you still see that tornado warning for parts of Williamson County, not Williamson County, but right where we were talking about near Saline County, yeah, near Highway 34, but that's long gone. Here's the tornado right here. And again, it was on the ground, it looks like, along Highway 34 for quite some time. Not sure if it's still on the ground right now, but again, it is a tight circulation. There are some hints, maybe a little bit of debris in the air, but it's not a sure sign of debris, but we still see a very tight circulation right along Highway 141. And again, this is on the basically the Gallatin White County line here in southern Illinois, right here, south and east of Norris City, south of Carmi. This is north of Shawneetown is where we have that possible tornado. And this one has done damage. And again, officials are asking to stay away in Saline County along Highway 34 where there's a possible damage path. We've had a couple of houses that have suffered some damage.
There's also a new tornado warning out for McCracken County.
That was the storm that we were talking about just a second ago, and I was a little concerned about that new updraft that was forming. And yeah, you can see kind of near the Rosebud area. It's in northern McCracken County. What other counties are with that one, you know? I see it right here. It's right here in northern McCracken and Massac counties, right along the Ohio River. That's that area we were talking about. We were just zoomed in. I said that's the new updraft, and I was a little concerned with it. And let's see, we may have rotation now. This is real close to the radar, so we can really sample this pretty well. Did they get? And this is headed right towards the metropolis area as we speak. Did they give any indication if there was any ground truth to this one, or is this radar indicated right now?
Radar indicated.
Yeah, there it is. We got that tight circulation forming. Again, this is very close to the radar, and we can see the precipitation beginning to wrap around. See very heavy rain. You kind of see it wrapping around that little inflow notch where we have a possible tornado forming near Metropolis. So if you're in Metropolis, if you're on the north side of Paducah, right where Interstate 24 crosses into Illinois from Kentucky, we're seeing the possibility of a tornado, and this is kind of a highly populated area now, moving into the metropolis area, where we possibly have a radar indicated tornado, new tornado warning in effect as this continues to move off to the east at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. We're looking for the debris. Really, we're very close to the radar. A lot of times when you're this close to the radar, the debris will not pick up, unfortunately. It usually needs to be just a tad farther away. So for you folks in Metropolis, you see that little tight couplet right there that's headed your way, and it's in a very favorable environment. It's right here moving across the Ohio River as we speak into southern Massac County. Jeff, you've got some information for me?
Yeah, we're just getting reports now, Grant, of some of the damage that people are seeing in different areas. I was just going to give you a second to catch your breath. We are hearing from Carterville. There is damage in that area, Hurricane Road, East Grand, and Brooklyn Road as well. Also, as you said, that tornado damage reported in Saline County near Galatia. We'll let you know about that real quick. Unconfirmed tornado damage on Illinois 148 south of Energy. And we're also getting some emails in, too, with some folks that will let people know in case they're watching. Evening classes canceled at UT Martin, centers in Jackson, Ripley, and Somerville, all because of this weather. And, again, that damage in Carterville. And also we're hearing of some several poles down across the road in Williamson County, according to the Fire Protection District. So, Grant, as you've been mentioning, it's been a busy afternoon, and we're now starting to get some indications of some damage.
Yeah, and that's all from that one. A lot of that was from that one storm that we've got when we first started getting some damage reports rolling. And it sounds like we were watching a very tight couplet, Williamson County moving towards Saline County. And it looks like we may have had a long track or a couple of touchdowns from that storm. And thankfully, that storm is going to be out of the heartland in about 5 minutes, but we do have a pretty serious situation as we've got a possible tornado that's moved into a fairly highly populated area, the north side of Paducah, Kentucky, and around Metropolis as well in southern Illinois. We want to be in our basement. If we have a basement, put as many walls between you and the outside. If you don't have a basement, that's that center interior room. Also, if you have a bicycle helmet, a football helmet, anything you could protect your head with, a baseball helmet, put that on to help keep you protected from flying debris, as this is our little area of rotation that is headed basically right into the north end of Metropolis. And again, unfortunately, it's very weird. The closer you get to the radar, the harder it is to sample it. The sweet spot's about 35 miles away from the radar, and that's usually when we start seeing a very good sign. So it looks like that tornado warning down in Dunkling County and Penobscot County has been continued as a severe thunderstorm warning because the rotation is not quite as strong as it was. But I want to get a close-up look on the rotations that we are tracking in southern Illinois right now. moving out of, basically it's moving right along the White Gallatin County line. This one is moving out of the heartland. It's moving across the river, the Wabash River there, and moving into southern Indiana. And you can see near New Haven, this is the one that's caused all the problems. This is where we're getting most of our damage report, is from this circulation. And it's still there, so we still may have a tornado on the ground, but it is moving out of the New Haven area and about to move out of White County. So again, about 5 minutes. Give it 10 minutes. 10 minutes, White County, this is going to be out of your area, and we will no longer have to worry about any tornadoes as this is about to cross the river and move into Indiana. The other area of rotation we're watching in southern Illinois is moving towards the Pope County area, down towards Livingston County in northern Kentucky. And you can see that new red polygon right here, right along Highway 146. We're going to zoom into that area here in just a second, but I want to get a little farther out to take a look at the shear to see if we see any tight rotation. Don't see a lot of tight rotation. See some very strong gusty winds, and that could be a sign that that storm is becoming what we call outflow dominant, meaning the winds are blowing away from the storm and the rotation threat weakens. But as we head towards the metropolis area, we're seeing our new tornado warning. It is moving towards Massac County and northern McCracken County, right here, moving into the metropolis area. You can see some of the roads here. Highway 45, Country Club Road, Highway 145, Interstate 24. All these areas in Massac County, if you live near any of these roads I've mentioned, you need to be underground right now. You need to be in your safe spot. You need to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible if you don't have a basement. So get into your interior room to help protect you from flying debris. Football helmet, baseball helmet, bicycle helmet, anything you can wear, especially for the kids. If you have any kids and you have some of those bicycle helmets, it'd be great to put them on. Now, as we see this, we've got some strong gusty winds moving through this area right across Highway or Interstate 24 and right near Country Club Road with this storm. Brian, Lisa, do you guys have any more information on any of these tornado warning storms?
Not that, other than that they issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Obion and Lake counties in Tennessee.
That's that northern edge of the storm that caused the problems in the southern Boot Heel. Again, the rotation is weakened, so no longer a tornado warning out with it. Just Lake and Obion counties, the southern part, under a severe thunderstorm warning for the threat of hail and strong gusty winds. Now let's get back. This that was near Matthews earlier had weakened on radar, the rotation, but we still have a tornado warning out for the East Prairie area and also just to the east of Matthews now. Let's take a look inside here. Hopefully this rotation continues to weaken. It's still there right on the west side of East Prairie, but it's not as intense. What it is intense is a very strong gust front right now. We're probably seeing 60-mile-per-hour winds moving in the north side of East Prairie right now, right along Highway 80, Highway 105. You may lose some power here in just a second as those strong gusty winds continue to move across your area. But right now the rotation, at least with that storm, appears to have weakened. So as we zoom out, we've got one tornado that has caused some damage moving out of White County into southern Indiana. We have another tornado warning for southern Pope County and Livingston County. That tornado warning, at least on radar, the rotation is much weaker. We have our one tornado warning we're watching on the north side of Paducah moving through Metropolis, and we have another tornado warning that is moving into the East Prairie area that we just checked on that looked a little weaker as well. We could take a look at the lightning display here, and we've got a line of electricity basically with this storm. But notice all the thunder and lightning behind it. And so I want to kind of bring this to your attention. Behind the cold front, we're still getting thunderstorms. We still may get some hail with some of these thunderstorms. But the tornado threat is pretty much over once this line of storms moves through, because this is along the cold front, and we're seeing much colder air filter in behind the storms. And as I can tell from the tower cam, I'm looking at the what we call the sky conditions, and it's what we kind of call a strato cloud. I mean, as strato clouds, they form well up in the atmosphere, and these thunderstorms are forming on top of those clouds, and that keeps you safe from tornadoes and high winds. Doesn't keep you safe from hail. So if these continue to grow, we could see some issues. Lisa, you're looking at me like you may have something to say.
They issued another tornado warning for White, Illinois, and I apologize if this is pronounced incorrectly, but Posey, Indiana.
Okay, yeah, that's crossing into India. That's that storm. I'm surprised they kept white in it. It just probably just clipped our county. Let's zoom in because, again, that's that rotation. That's the storm that produced the tornado, produced the damage. And you can see they just issued a new warning out for it. The rotation is right here. It is about to move out of White County, and they'll trim our county out of that pretty quickly. But we can kind of zoom in and take a look at where the rotation is. You can see it's right there to the northeast of that Highway 141 marker. You can see here's Omaha, Morris City. This is about to cross the Wabash River and move into Indiana. White County, you got 3 minutes and it's out of your area. You won't have to worry about it anymore. And so far, this is the one storm that we've seen that has caused what appears to be some significant damage in a few areas. I'm going to pan out just a bit so we can get a look at some of the other storms that are in northern Kentucky and southern Illinois, because we still have a couple of warnings out there. We still have the tornado warning out for Pope County and Livingston County, tornado warning out for basically just the far southeastern parts of Massac County. Have we had any word, guys, of the tornadoes that are in Pope County, the warnings in Pope County and Massac County near Metropolis?
Not that I've seen.
This reminds me a little bit, Grant, if you remember, was it last month where we had the damage that went through the Malden area? We had almost no reports of anything on the ground. It was only after the fact where we saw more and more reports of damage coming in. I'm wondering if a lot of these storms were rain wrapped, and so
are, yeah.
These places where we're seeing the very suspicious rotation may have put down tornadoes briefly, but nobody saw them because they were rain wrapped. And now we're starting to see we're getting out of our house. We're seeing the damage and determining there may have been tornadoes with some of these.
Yeah, we're not seeing a lot of rotation in these storms now, and hopefully that trend will continue. What we're entering is the time period where these storms are going to start to line out and become a significant gusty wind threat as we head throughout the evening hours. So let's get everything caught up to date. We're going to get the whole Heartland view. Again, we have a new tornado warning out for extreme eastern White County. White County, you got about 2 minutes and that storm's out of your area. We've got a tornado warning for southern Pope County and northern Livingston County, extreme northern Livingston County in Kentucky. We have a tornado warning out for Massac County, just to the north side of Paducah. We have a tornado warning out for the East Prairie area of Mississippi County. That rotation has weakened just a bit. And we have a tornado warning out for Pemiscot County, but that has gone on into a severe thunderstorm warning for Lake and Obion County. Pretty sure they're going to allow that tornado warning to be discontinued here shortly. Other storms continue to develop to our north and west, but these are, again, what we call elevated storms. They'll produce a lot of lightning. They could still produce some hail, but they will not produce tornadoes or gusty winds behind the cold front because the air mass is just too cold and the storms are forming too high up. Brian, what's the latest?
Well, just on that very subject, if you look behind you, the tornado watches have now been taken down largely over the northwestern half of the area behind the front.
Behind the cold front.
We are seeing storms, but they're elevated, so they can't put down tornadoes anymore.
Yeah, we are seeing all the counties will continue to be trimmed back as this front continues to move to the area. So right now, as we look at things, western Kentucky and northwestern Tennessee, basically that's the only area in our viewing area that still has the tornado threat. I know we have lots of tornado warnings, but analyzing these storms, it looks like things are beginning to improve. We can zoom in and kind of show you what we're talking about, especially this one storm that is moving towards Scott City. Behind the line, it looks very impressive on radar, and I bet if we it's right near Oran. If I look at it, I imagine we'll see some hail that's mixed in with the rain right near the Oran area, but this is what we call an elevated storm, and you can see we do have that mixture of hail and rain right here, and when we look at the winds inside it, we don't have anything to worry about. Again, that's aloft, but we're going to see this activity for the next few hours, and there's a lot of lightning with it still as well. As I put the lightning display on, we're going to see a lot of lightning with this storm near Oran, also with the storm near Advance, Puxico, to the west of Delta. Again, these are all elevated storms, so a lot of folks still in southeast Missouri and southern Illinois are going to be hearing thunder and lightning for quite some time, but the severe weather threat is now moving into western Kentucky and northwestern Tennessee. I can zoom into the storm to the east of East Prairie in Mississippi County. And again, that's earlier was showing pretty significant rotation near Matthews. And so far, it looks as though that rotation has weakened just a bit. This is along Highway 80 east of East Prairie. You can see we're not seeing much in the way of strong rotation. Same story, 80 and 77 where they intersect. Basically, our main concern with this would be strong gusty winds and hail. The warning has not been extended to the east, so that's another good sign that this storm continues to weaken. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the storm that is in Massac County as well, because that did look very intense for a brief period of time. But the rotation aspect of it was not all that great. And this is to the south of Rosebud. This is to the north of Paducah, where we're talking about this storm right here. Earlier showed signs of rotation and was fairly intense. So we throw the shear marker on there. We still got a little bit of rotation. It's very broad. You can see winds going towards the radar and away. So it's still spinning here, about to move into southern Pope County, but they have not continued the tornado warning into southern Pope County. And we'll pan up towards Golconda there on the Ohio River on the border of Pope and Livingston County, because that's where the rotation would be with this thunderstorm. And this is just to the south of Elizabethtown. And again, this rotation has weakened just a bit as well. So we will throw the shear marker on here, take a look, and you'll see that we don't have much in the way of rotation with this storm as well. So overall, the tornado threat, at least briefly, these storms appear to be losing their tornado characteristics. You can see that tornado warning for Mississippi County was just dropped. I expect this tornado warning to be dropped here shortly. And as soon as we have the tornado warnings dropped and we see that we have no threat for tornadoes to develop, we'll throw things back to regular programming here in just a bit. Now, with that said, I don't think we're done tracking tornado warnings. I think we'll see a couple of more issued for parts of western Kentucky. But this line has really begun to sped up. And you can see the worst part of it is now to the Ohio River. And with its speed, it is going to be out of the heartland in a couple of hours. Matter of fact, we can track that. Let me stop the motion here. We'll do a line track on these storms. And I think I have the line track at about 50 miles per hour. So we'll kind of just go like this, and we'll go off to the east, and we'll do a 2-hour track. So you can see that would be by 8:45, we're done. Everything's out. This is the back end of the severe weather threat. So the towns you see here and the times, this is when the severe weather threat is over. When these storms get out, you can start to see all these storms developing out to our east. These are going to be a big concern for parts of central Kentucky as they move off to the east. We are still dealing with some activity in our area as well, but right now it's basically just some strong gusty winds and some hail. This is starting to line out, if you will, meaning the tornado threat lessens. Remember, we want storms for tornadoes to be more like this, where they're all separated like they were earlier. This is not very favorable for tornado development. We